Hello, we are kicking off season 2 of the Uncut with Lucia. We have today a very special guest. Please join me to welcome Jenny Mannion. So, Jenny, welcome to Uncut with Lucia.
It's such a pleasure and honor to be here with you, Lucia.
I'm super
Thank you for having
happy.
me.
Yes, I'm super happy to have you here. And Jenny, you published a book called A Short Path to Change 30 Days to Transform Your Life. And it's out now.
Yes, it's a little book.
And can you tell us what is this book about?
It is about having tools that can really shift our life from the limits that we have to embracing the change. And change can be challenging. We tend to be comfortable in our comfort zone. Even if it's uncomfortable, it can be hard to move out of it. So these are really short, I believe in short, easy tools. Quick, we meet resistance if we're told to meditate for an hour or do something long. These are really little tools that can help you just shift your mindset a little bit and shift your energy to invite in new ways of being.
Mhm. And to talk a little bit about your background. So, Jenny, you refer to yourself as an energy reawakener. So, what does energy reawakening mean to you?
There's a couple levels, but I love to basically be a mirror for my clients, for them to see how beautiful they are and tap into that energy that we're born with, that we're limitless, that, that little kid energy where they're daydreaming and anything is possible. And the pots and pans are drums and, really awakening that part of ourself that can be childlike, that can know no limits before our traumas and our challenges. So really reawakening that healing energy inside, that love energy inside, especially that unconditional love energy, to really put that out to the universe, because we can start changing our life on every level, body, mind, and spirit, when we do reawaken that energy inside us and know that we're worthy of it.
It's sometimes very difficult for us to, to feel this kind of love for ourselves. Sometimes it's something that lack on some people. And can you tell about your journey? How did it all start?
Started because I was sick for 7 years with chronic illnesses. I call myself a recovering perfectionist. I definitely liked everything just so and was a very big people pleaser. How can I help everyone else? And put myself last a lot, like a lot of women and moms do. And people that just care about other people tend to put themselves last and not feel comfortable taking taking the time that they need to rest, or taking the time they need to really reflect in and do the inner work and healing. So I was sick for 7 years, diagnosed with a bunch of chronic illnesses, was told I'd be in a wheelchair. That was in my mid 30s. And instead, I wound up healing myself of all illnesses in 3 weeks. And that was simply by changing my thoughts, which changed my energy, which allowed for healing to take place. Often, Lucy, even when we're sick, we're hard on ourselves. I was hard on myself. I'm not a good enough mom. I'm not a good enough wife. I'm not a good enough friend or daughter. The list went on and on. We can just beat ourselves up about every little thing. And my journey began in healing myself of all those illnesses and being like, wow, I have my physical body back. I don't even remember how that felt. It's been so long. I wanted to kind of shout it from the rooftops, and I wanted to learn more about how I did heal and also find new ways to tap into that energy to help people transform parts of their life. And I used that energy in my learning to transform other aspects of my life. For my life, the physical had to come first. But then it was, one of the first things I heard when I healed was, you need to look at your marriage. I'm like, oh no, I'm not going there right now. So it is levels. We manifest things from where we are. And, very lucky that I was able to co-parent with my ex and have a healthy relationship with him. But again, that's from where I was at that moment. We heal things and can transform our lives, but we really have to believe we're worthy of that. And even when I healed, I was hard on myself. Oh, if you knew this stuff 7 years ago, you would have had, more life left. You would have done this differently. Really learning to listen to that inner talk, because we're constantly talking to ourselves, and being easier on ourselves, talking to ourselves like we would our children, our best friend, our pets. We often talk much kinder to our pets than we do to ourselves. So really starting to listen so that we can create from that space. The journey after healing took me to learning energy healing modalities and shamanism and Akashic record reading and some of the more woo-woo stuff, but it always comes back to the mind body, because I've seen miracles in my work, which is beautiful. There's nothing like seeing cancer heal or something like that. But if our brain hasn't changed the way it works, if we are not telling ourselves we're worthy of that, I've seen people manifest disease over again, because it really does fall back on what energy are we consistently putting out there. Getting an energy healing every week is not really the way to be healthy. It is really about working with our inner dialogue and the energy that we're putting out there, that we're going to attract healthy relationships to us. We're going to feel better, body, mind, and spirit. And that really has a ripple effect to everyone around us.
Jenny, your book is divided into 4 sections. Can you tell us a little more about that? Can we really learn how to cure ourselves?
Yes, the first section is the most important, because it's getting rid of the old stuff. We need to really get rid of the old stuff before we can start implementing the new habits. So looking at ourselves in a loving way and clearing space. And that can be physically clearing the clutter out of our house. That can be looking around at the top 5 people we spend the most time around. And are they really positive people that we want the energy of around us? It can be, setting healthy boundaries. It can be listening to our self-talk's really important, and clearing out the old stuff, like becoming aware of how we're speaking to ourselves. So the first section is all about clearing out that old energy. Forgiveness is the first chapter and exercise, because forgiveness and self-forgiveness is so important, because if we're holding on to anger or resentment for ourselves or for other people, it's really hard to move forward. We're keeping that energy alive and keeping ourselves kind of tethered to the past. The second unit in my book is all about the chakra system. So it's the energy, I call it our inner diagnostic system. It's our 7 energy centers. I go over the 7 main energy centers, chakras. I think this part's important because it's important to see how our emotions and are kind of can get trapped in energy, and how each relate, and to understand that our body's not punishing us if we get sick. Something's out of balance. So really loving our body and bringing it into balance and having that communication with it, instead of numbing it. If something's wrong, okay, I'll just take this and the pain's gone. But did you get to what was going on? So knowing about the chakras is very powerful, because, to give you an example, if you have a sore throat repeatedly, maybe you're not speaking your truth about something. Maybe you're not expressing yourself creatively. So knowing about the throat chakra puts you suddenly in a place of power and love. How can I support this chakra? How can I bring myself more into balance? So I make them pretty easy and give a bunch of tips on balancing each one. Each chapter in my book has a short exercise at the end to really integrate that exercise, that feeling, and to kind of know that you're taking that step on the path. The third unit is really about the present moment. That's where all our power is, tapping into the present moment. Gratitude is huge. That was one of the number one things I really do feel helped me to heal, because we can be so negative as humans. We just tend to go to that place. But paying gratitude really puts us in that place of love and appreciation, which gathers that energy and makes more beautiful things happen. So things like gratitude, things like tapping into energy, things like tapping into self-love, putting your hand on your heart and remembering something you love about yourself, or remembering someone that you loved in your life telling you they loved you, or a gesture that they made that they loved you, an animal cuddling up with you, a pet, really bringing ourselves to the present moment and those moments that everything's okay. It really reaffirms that, okay, yeah, life's not that bad. I've had good moments before. I will have more good moments. And it really puts us in that place of receiving and manifesting. The fourth unit's all about just tools to keep you moving forward, because life happens, and tools like to kind of counteract self-sabotage. We do self-sabotage, even especially as we see things going well. Something in us will pull us back. Oh, it's more comfy back here. Come back here. Do this, do this thing that you thought you outgrew. So really learning things, to setting intentions, setting mini goals, things to keep you moving forward. So the book can be done in order. I do kind of recommend at least you do the sections in order, but you can also have had clients tell me they just pick it up and pick to a chapter, and whatever they open to, they feel like that's what they need in that moment.
What you're saying is very, very important. And in your opinion, if we have the power to cure ourselves, are we also the ones who have the power to at times cause the same illness to begin with?
Yeah, I definitely feel that. Illness is caused on all levels, body, mind, and spirit. And if energy isn't flowing correctly, we will, be ill. And I know that when I was sick, most of my pain was in my legs. And every morning I would wake up, ow, my legs hurt so much. I wonder if I can walk today. I feel so bad because my legs hurt. That's not creating healing energy. That is not giving my body a chance to even begin to heal itself. It is focusing all my attention and energy on the pain, which can only allow it to expand. So when I was healing myself, I would change it to, I'd focus on my little finger sometimes. My little finger feels healthy. There's healthy cells in my body. That if there's healthy cells in my finger, there can be healthy cells throughout my body. Our emotions really do play a part in the energy that is created, and our cells are always recreating themselves. We're like 99.9% new every 11 months. So where we put that focused energy is really important. And if we have a trauma from the past that isn't healed, can think of it like stuck energy. Energy isn't getting through there. That's why it is important to know about the chakras, because you can kind of know where that is landing in you. Like a lot of lately, the world is a little topsy-turvy lately, and I've heard of more illnesses in the legs, more trouble walking with legs and feet, because that's the first chakra, which governs, do you feel safe walking on this planet at this time? So it really does help to understand. The fourth chakra is a huge one, because that can be heart and lungs. So lung cancer or breast cancer. And that's all about relationships and how we feel about ourselves, that self-love. If we don't have that self-love, maybe we've been told, I've had clients that parents told them horrendous things about themselves, and they took that in deeply and believed it, or they had a relationship that wasn't healthy and they believe those things. How can disease not form almost if you are holding on to that energy so tightly? It's restricting. I mean, you can think of it like when we hold on to something so tightly, like energy can't flow. So it really is in learning how to heal some of those things, and not coming from a place of judgment of ourselves. That's the hardest part, is really like loving ourselves enough, being compassionate enough with ourselves, like we would someone else. And then the healing can begin.
And you told me that you cured yourself in only 3 weeks from chronic diseases. Did you go to a doctor? Did you see a doctor, the same doctor who told you had the illness?
I ran into the doctor that I was seeing up to 3 times a week, honestly, about 6 months later. And he's like, you haven't been in. What's going on? I'm like, I'm better. what? Like, how are you better? And I had gotten off painkillers 3 weeks after. I was off all painkillers, all the medications, except there was a blood thinner I was still on that they told me I'd be on for life because I had a genetic blood disorder. And I didn't want to be on this blood thinner. Was basically like a rat poison I was putting in my body. I'm like, I don't want to be on this for the next 50 years. But I was a little afraid to go back to doctors for a while. I did not want to go back. I was feeling healthy. It took me almost a year to go back to my hematologist to get permission to go off of the blood thinner. And he said, with my mind where it was now, it would have been more dangerous for me to stay on it than to come off of it, and gave me his blessing to come off of it.
That's incredible. Wow. It's really incredible. After you told me your story, I was like, everything is possible. Everything that we want is possible.
And that's what I want people to know. Like, and it's really like these layers that you work on yourself, and being gentle with yourself. And I've been in a relationship with my partner now for 7.5 years, and it's like a love beyond, anything I've known. But I couldn't have been there unless I had healed a lot of myself and worked on myself, because you have to feel worthy of that kind of love and that kind of respect and honoring. And we're all worthy of that. But it might be hard believing that if you've had parents or relationships where you're told you're not worthy, or you've had jobs or situations where you felt like you weren't enough. But we're the only ones that can change that dialogue, because we're the ones talking to ourselves most often.
Exactly. And Jenny, also, you told me you manifested your boyfriend. How did it happen? I think many people will want to know this story a little better.
Well, I have my clients do the same thing that I did. I wrote a list of everything I wanted, and my list was, he is, and all in the positive. He is generous, he is kind, he is good with my kids, he is authentic, he has friends, he has, all of these things, 2 pages, single spaced, typed, everything I wanted. And I didn't get obsessive about it. I looked at it, I think, looked at it for maybe a couple days in a row, worked on it, then let it go for a couple weeks, couple months. And as I noticed qualities in my friends, and thought about past boyfriends, past relationships, I'd add things to the list, or I'd change things a little bit on the list. And I really do feel like it wasn't until my list was perfect that he manifested. Like, one of the things I had on the list at first was, he is a healer. I dated a couple of healers. I think I manifested from that list. I was like, nope, I don't need that. I just need, and I changed it to, he is someone that is open spiritually to what I do, and that was definitely a lot more aligned for me. So, I mean, working on that list too, knowing that I had a friend that wrote down, he is, I think she wrote down, he is charismatic, and she kept getting like these real like flirts. And, so being a little intentional with your words and what you want. But I think it's a really good exercise in self-worth too, to look at that list and be like, yeah, I deserve someone that's everything on the list. And why should I settle? If you settle, you're telling yourself you're not worthy of more. And you're also not doing a service to that other person, because you're not loving them as they are. You're loving them in spite of something. And you don't want to be loved like that. You want someone that just loves you and accepts you unconditionally. And so to look at that list, go over it again, don't obsess over it, but go over it, feel what it would be like to have someone in your life that's all those things. And it's really interesting, because a lot of those things are going to be you on the list too. You're going to recognize that, oh wait, I am caring, and I am good with my kids, and I am those things. And it really does, it's an exercise in self-love and self-worth, which helps attract that person to you.
Wow, this is amazing. Jenny, besides your book, do you also work with people by doing energy reawakening?
Yes, I work with people on different levels. I do some more woo-woo energy work like shamanism and Akashic record reading. I also do coaching. I have clients I see once or twice a month for ongoing coaching and mentoring, where we can just kind of set goals and move forward. Someone to be loving and supportive. I do really believe in my clients. I know that we can all have better lives. And sometimes you need a coach or mentor there to support you and to believe in you, to really kind of keep moving forward. Because we do self-sabotage sometimes, so it helps to have that person there. I also have an online course. I also have a free energy session, one per month in my community. So this path, it can be on any topic. It could be on a topic like abundance or core wounds or something like that. And I will do an energy session for half an hour around that topic with the people present, and they could watch it again and receive energy again. I also do it with my mom's plant attached to a Music of the Plants machine, which also plays healing energy, which deepens the healing. So I love supporting people any way that I can.
So adorable. So okay, how can our viewers find you, and of course your book?
They can find me at jennymannion.com, JennyMannion.com. My book's available on Amazon or anywhere else, bookstores, you can order it. And yeah, I would love to connect. I offer a free 7-day trial on my website of chakras, love through the chakras. So an exercise each day, as well as a free meditation, reawakening love through the chakras. So that's a free gift that I offer just for signing up and subscribing to my site.
Okay, great. What's your website, Jenny?
JennyMannion.com.
Wonderful. I'm very happy to have you here today, Jenny. And when you publish a new book, please, you know that you are very welcome to Uncut with Lucia.
Thank you so much, Lucia. I love my time with you. Thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.